Get Warrior Tough, Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
All right, we're back at it. Dutch and Andrew and Dutch. GetWarriorTough.com. Hashtag GetWarriorTough. At the Dutch Coleman. At WarriorTough PhD. Holler. All right, Dutch. So, I know, right? So I'm really, we're spending some time giving some grease and some oil to the engaged employees that usually we take for granted. We work the hound out of them till the wheels fall off, and then we wonder why they leave our company. They're the ones that are carrying the whole thing on their back. And and so when you don't care, and I said this right before the break, that this is the attitude in a lot of I've seen this happen over and over again, that when you do good hard work, it's rewarded with more hard work. They give you more work because you're the one that'll get the job done. And listen, I'm not complaining about that, right? Because I've used it to my advantage.
Well, it goes back to your to your statement. What was it? Screw your way up to the
screw up and move up. Yeah,
screw up and move up.
Screw your way up. Hey, wait a minute, man.
So think about this. Think about this. All the things that we're mentioning here. Again, people are at home nodding their heads, right? So when you say when you do a great job, you get rewarded with more work, you don't think people realize that? Which then says, I'm not going to do a lot of good work because they're going to give me more work. So we go back to the sabotage theory, or they're just happy to be there, just the status quo, just doing just enough to not get fired. That mentality. They don't want to do more because they're going to get rewarded with more. So that's impacting the bottom line. And again, it goes as low as a saboteur.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to take that bull by the horns and point in a different direction.
All right, so we do, and it's sad. We see it, but people know about it. So what they do is they take their foot off the gas and they become disengaged. So really, what happens is instead of moving people into the engaged column, like I just said, what you're doing is moving people into the disengaged column, and you're keeping the ones that are disengaged by working them hard, not caring about them. And then this one, Dutch, to be like, if you do a good job. It was a private coaching client. Somebody offered, the company offered this client to go to another city, take over the one of their locations in another city, for less pay. And then said, if you do a good job in 6 months, we'll give you you could be in for a promotion. And what happened in 6 months? Did a good job, turned the place around. Where's that regional director promotion? Oh yeah, now's not a good time. Broken promise. Do you know that person who did that turn? They're not with that company anymore.
Unbelievable.
Gone. And how many times you say, yeah, you're going to get the raise, or yeah, you're going to get the promotion, or yeah, we got a good spot for you, yeah, we're going to, and you're dangling it out there like a carrot, and then you never fulfill it. And you know what? You don't have to burn everybody. Everybody's watching you. If you promise your subordinate something and then you don't follow through, and then I see you do it twice. See, twice is a pattern for me, man. One time it might be an aberration, but I see you do it twice, I'm not going to believe a thing that comes out of your mouth ever again.
Fact. I mean, and we're talking about the psychology of people, how the machine works. I mean, that you're not alone in that. I mean, the majority of the people, they see it a couple times, and they start being, they start disengaging. They start thinking, their mind starts to shift towards those thoughts, right? And once that trust is broken, it's really hard to get it back.
Yeah.
They're already in the classifieds. They're already with the headhunters. They're already looking.
Yeah.
And they'll beat you to the punch.
Absolutely. And why wouldn't? And listen, and this, Dutch, we actually teach this. CEO of you. I'm my boss. My boss is my customer. And you've heard me say this. And I sometimes I don't like to get into it because people get mad. But I'm like, can you fire the customer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can fire the customer. People are like, whoa, they're your boss. You can't fire them. Yeah, I can fire them by taking my skills and going to another place to work and leasing them somewhere else.
Yeah, we had that sidebar conversation in D.C. this past week, and it's real. I mean, people are always shocked when you say that, but that's a reality.
All right, so then the next thing that happens is we'll be sitting around and we're watching and we're waiting on that promised promotion, because I turn things around, so I know I'm in line for it. And then what happens is you hire and promote, the screw up. And so when you do that, then I become disgruntled and I disengage. I take my foot off the gas because I've been busting my chops, and then you hire the whiz bang, out of like, wow, this guy's so awesome. Woo, look, we found him on the LinkedIn headhunter guy, and he's a complete train wreck. Doesn't fit the culture. You don't know if he fits in with the values or she fits in with the values of the place or the mission or anything. And listen, we have clients that do this, Dutch. They go for the big, and they're the expensive, and they're like, wow, because it'll cost, they're demanding six figures, and look at this track record. And then they get in there, and then they just ride, they coast, and collect their six-figure check and do nothing.
Man, that can tear at the fabric probably more than anything that I can think of right now on this side. I mean, you're talking about unit cohesion.
Yeah,
everything you built just gone in an instant, man. And that, I mean, it takes time to build that. And when you get it going, it's good, and you can just destroy it in an instant.
Yeah, and you know what, Dutch? It's hard enough with the unit cohesion stuff when you do bring in some whiz-bang and they're actually good and they're a fit. It's hard enough to keep unit cohesion. But when you bring in the whiz-bang and they don't fit and they're not good and they're, a disaster, it's almost impossible to bring the team back from that while that person is still there.
People don't forget. I mean, you gotta work 10 times, 20 times as hard to bring that back, and by that time they're gone. A good employee is going to be gone. You're not going to have an opportunity to bring that back. And that's some powerful stuff.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'm one of those, right? So if you look, people like I was doing an interview with a Business Insider today, and the journalist, the reporter, was asking me like, your background is so varied. Like, what, walk me through that. Well, how do you do so many different things? Well, when I get comfortable or I get to where I feel like I'm disgruntled or I'm disengaged, I quit and go somewhere else. I don't stay there and take a check.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was to say the onus is on the manager, the leadership. When you have talented individuals, you have to take ownership in the fact of why they're there, right? I mean, it's not just about them. It's about me providing a reason and a place and an environment, and for them to be there where they're going to flourish, right? People think it's the other way around and the other way around alone.
I even had, so in the CXO, right? It's the C-suite LinkedIn group that I'm in, right? With all these C-suite people, CFOs, CEOs, COOs, and that state of the workplace video went up, and I was getting comments like, well, aren't the employees responsible for their own engagement? Yes, that's our philosophy, that everybody, I'm the problem and I'm the solution. However, if you're in leadership in the company, and this I said, here's where the magic happens. You use your influence to persuade everybody to take on that responsibility of being engaged, not modeling your own disengagement or creating the environment that makes it impossible. And I say impossible because I'll tell you what, as a high performer, Dutch, I am not staying in a place that does not value the solutions that I bring. I'm going to go to the place, and this is just capitalism, right? If you value my solution, I'm going to go to where the customer wants the solution. Why would I beat my head against the wall and stay here? The problem is the employees have not risen up and said, you know what, we're not taking this anymore. I'm just going to go get a better job somewhere else. When people do that, then it makes management have to step up and begin to do the job.
And by then you may have your company or organization may become crippled because you lost your very best employee. And we all know that it's hard to find those individuals. We just did a show on that about a month ago on these failed management principles and the way people have done things in the past. And you still have people saying, well, isn't it the employee's responsibility? Yeah, it is. And the old way of thinking, which has been proven to be a failure, that is the way it is.
And so, the employees should just, it's hilarious that because do you think that the company is going to flourish if your employees you're not, having flourishing employees, because the company is made up of employees? Why would you? Yeah, I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, that's that whole at the highest level of that ain't my job.
Yes, but it's it's rampant, dude. It is rampant in Fortune 1000 companies, dude. from middle management on up. As soon as they get that next promotion and a title, they literally begin to think they get that chip on their shoulder. Listen, rank does not have its privileges, Dutch. Rank has its responsibilities.
No question. I can't think of a better way to put that.
Like, I am so tired of people trying to be like, well, rank's got its privilege. RHIP. No. Rank has its responsibilities. If you're taking the check and you took the title of the job, that means you're responsible for everybody under you flourishing. I just,
Well, I mean, if everyone had that mentality, if everyone thought their thoughts that way, I don't have to tell you how great of organizations we will have, right?
Right.
I mean, we get these, we reach these heights, and we love ourselves to death until we reach the next height, and we don't do anything in between, right? Because we know there's a lot of systems that promote seniority, how long you've been there. They don't reward solving problems and all those things. So I just love myself and enjoy the fruits of my past labors until I reach the next level.
Right.
And I continue to do the same thing over and over and over again till I reach the top. Because that's the way it works. We got about 30 seconds left, but so just give me some last comments on that section.
Well, I
mean,
there. You said that's how it works until it doesn't work like that. I mean, the battlefield of the economy is littered with companies where they ascribe to that and it didn't work, and a level of middle management that they're out of work now. They're all like Walmart door greeters, and they're like, I got laid off. And listen, you got laid off because you weren't solving enough problems, and when a crisis happens, you cannot hide weak leadership. Everyone knows in a crisis where the problems are. You could get away with it for 10 years, 15 years, and then a crisis happens. That's why I'm looking. I know we're past the break, but I'm always looking for the next market correction. I love a market correction because it shakes out all the riffraff. You're listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch and Andrew. We'll be right back.